know it's on your mind, you're feeling it after the holidays, you start Googling weight loss, healthy eating, only to find yourself down the rabbit hole of different diets and lifestyles wondering, could this work for me? I've been getting a ton of questions about intermittent fasting lately, so by the end of this video, you're gonna have a summary of current research, including potential benefits and pitfalls, with a two-step system to decide whether or not it's right for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindsay, a registered dietitian here to simplify nutrition and make food feel good. If this sounds good to you, give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post new videos every week. As always, I've got a download for you, so make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video to get your hands on that. So let's get right into it. What exactly is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is an umbrella term for time-restricted feeding, or TRF, where participants alternate between fed and fasted states, which could either be on specific days during the week or certain hours during the day. The most popular and studied regimes within intermittent fasting are a 2-day consecutive fasting where participants fast for 2 days during the week and then eat without restriction the other 5 days, or an alternate day fasting where on the fasting days they reduce their calories by 60 to 70%. In terms of the intermittent fasting windows, day to day, the most popular is a 16-hour fasting window where participants eat for 8 hours during the day, with a more liberal approach being a 12-hour fast and a 12-hour feast. So like a lot of other weight loss diets, the goal of these eating patterns is to reduce overall calorie intake for weight loss, body fat loss, and sometimes with the hopes of reducing lipid levels like cholesterol or triglycerides, and a potential impact on insulin resistance for type 2 diabetes. So what does the research say? I have poured over tons of studies focusing on human trials in the last 5 years, and this is what I found. A 2015 study looking at trials between 3 and 24 weeks did show a reduction in body weight and body fat, as well as cholesterol and triglycerides. Another 2017 study also showed that there was a reduction in blood glucose levels as well as body weight. However, this study was only 10 people over the course of 6 weeks. So looking at both of these studies, they are short-term, relatively small sample sizes, which does provide some limitation to the results. So how does intermittent fasting stack up compared to regular calorie-restricted diets? There was one 2013 study of 115 participants that did show that intermittent fasting may be more effective at improving insulin resistance and decreasing body weight in the short term. However, a 2017 review of 6 small studies showed that the impact of an intermittent fasting diet versus general calorie restriction was equal. But on the downside, one animal study in this review showed that intermittent fasting may actually increase visceral fat cell size, and have an adverse effect on insulin sensitivity when compared to fed animals. It was speculated that these adverse effects may be due to the animals adopting a gorging state when they are in that eating window, meaning that during the hours that they're eating, they were actually overeating and more likely to binge on food than when they were following a regular eating pattern. It was also suggested that this could have a negative impact on circadian rhythm and increase the accumulation of abdominal fat, as well as having negative effects on overall metabolic function. This review also included one short-term study on muscle protein turnover and suggested that intermittent fasting may lead to reduced muscle mass. So how this can impact our overall metabolic function and our ability to lose and maintain weight? Muscle mass is actually more metabolically active than fat. So when we lose weight quickly, if our body is losing muscle mass, it can actually slow down our overall metabolism. So to summarize, does intermittent fasting work for weight loss? Does it have potential for positive health effects? What we saw in some of these short-term research studies was that intermittent fasting does have the potential to reduce body weight, body fat, as well as lipid levels like cholesterol and triglycerides. On the downside, we did also see that intermittent fasting could increase muscle wasting and that it may not be any more effective at weight loss, body fat loss, or any of those lipid levels than any other calorie-restricted diet. What I did see across the board is that information still tends to be conflicting. Although it may benefit for certain conditions, you can find another handful of studies that are going to argue against it. Overall, pretty much every study arguing either for or against did conclude by saying that we don't have enough long-term research, we don't have enough human studies to really make a bold statement on the safety or efficacy of intermittent fasting. Another thing to consider is adherence. One 2016 study showed a 31% dropout rate. So when we look at these studies, we need to consider that not everyone that started the study was able to complete it, which also says something in itself. What we know about diets is that generally adherence is about 4 to 6 weeks, with weight loss peaking at about 6 months. Another eye-opening statistic, which was actually presented by the diet industry itself, is that 95% of diets fail. A lot of studies will share graphs with anticipated outcome if participants stay adherent to a diet. Past that 6-month point, what we generally see when participants aren't able to adhere to the diet is that weight continues to increase, surpassing where it was at baseline. So all of that being said, here is my 2-step diet decider. When you're taking a look at changing your eating habits, you want to consider 2 things. How does it make you feel, both body and mind? So when we look at body and the physical effects, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Is it weight loss? Is it increased energy? Is it increased muscle? Now, if the diet checks all those boxes for you, the next thing you need to consider is how is this going to make you feel mentally? How do you want to feel in the long run? Is it going to limit your social activities? Are you going to feel restricted or isolated? And if you answer yes to any of those things, it's likely not going to be something that you'll adhere to. So in my almost 10 years as a dietitian and over 15 years in this industry as a whole, taking a look and analyzing every new diet that comes out, there's one thing that tends to be concluded in all of the research, and that is that the best diet that's going to work for anyone is one that you'll adhere to, which in my opinion isn't a diet at all. So does this mean that this absolutely can't be a lifestyle that could work for some? No. We are all individuals, but generally what I've seen in my practice is that the success rate, and what I mean by that is long-term adherence with lasting results, is extremely low. Ultimately, in deciding what's right for you, you want to ask yourself, is this something that I could truly enjoy? And is this something that I could stick to in the long term? And as I just mentioned in that 2-step diet decider, will it work for me both body and mind? So I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I know you might be looking for some guidance this time of year. So if you are looking for a more moderate approach, I have included a 5-day meal plan down below that you can download with the recommendations that I make with my clients. Generally what I find tends to work best is bringing it back to basics. Eating regularly throughout the day, packing your plate with lots of plant foods, aiming for about half a plate of vegetables, getting some good quality protein, eating combinations of meals and snacks and increments during the day that are going to help to prevent spikes and drops in blood sugar levels, which has a major impact on your cravings. I know it may sound easier said than done, and it can take a little bit of practice, but that's what I'm here for, to support you guys and simplify nutrition and truly make food feel good, body, mind, and soul. Once you stop resisting, let go of some of those food rules, the shoulds and the shouldn'ts, it really can be a lot easier than it seems. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have any experience with intermittent fasting or any other diets? Has it worked for you? Or what do you find is the best approach when it comes to consistent, feel-good, healthy eating? If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. In the meantime, you can also find me over on Instagram at Lindsay Pleskot. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.